welcome to my channel. If you are new here, it is so great to see you, and if you're returning, thank you for following along on this journey with me. Today, I figured we would dive a little bit into my evening skincare routine. So I know I previously talked about my morning skincare routine and how that was a little bit sporadic for me, and I just kind of wash my face depending on whether or not it needs it. But my evening skincare is on lock. Like, I do not go a day without washing my face at night and going through a whole skincare routine. It is something that my skin needs. It's something that it thrives on. And I notice that I will get like a clogged pore if I skip a couple days with it. And recently my evening skincare routine has actually changed a bit. So I am a product maximalist. I love trying new different like beauty brands, new products that are out on the market. I pay a lot of attention to it. I also, as an ex-beauty writer, I still get press releases. So I'm very much still in the world and kind of know what is happening and launching. But recently, I decided I needed to scale it back a little bit. And that mainly came because I had some products that I was not using. Some products that I love, but I wasn't using because of all the other products that I was using. And these ones work very well when they're like by themselves or in conjunction with other products or like in a routine. So it kind of started with my retinol. I have always been using my retinol, to be honest, but I also have Biologic Research P50, which I haven't used a lot recently, as well as the Augustina Butter Cream. And if you know anything about those products, you know that you can't necessarily use a Dr. Dennis Gross peel pad and then put P50 on top and then everything else. When I use P50 in my routine, it pretty much is like the only thing I use. Like, I wash my face, I use P50, maybe put a serum, a hydrating serum on, not a lot of actives, and like a moisturizer, and we're done for the day. So same thing with Augustina Butter. Like, that's it. That's my cream. I wash my face, the butter goes on. We put some moisturizer on and we're done. So I wanted to use these products again in my routine, but I knew that I needed to have some sort of like, I don't know, scaled back routine in there. So I've been running with it for the past little bit. My esthetician has not said anything has changed in my skin when I go for facials. I do find that my face is looking a little bit brighter as well, and a little bit healthier, but we will see. So let's get into that routine. Like always, I really like my band. I am a faithful member of Formula Fig, so I go every month and actually get facials from them. The one that I get is a hydrating glow, and this is not sponsored in any way by Formula Fig. I just really love the service. I love the 30 minutes of pampering. It's like a really good facial every time I go, so I can't really complain. And as part of my membership, I got this lovely head wrap, which is perfect. It fits so securely and we love it. But yeah, I also still have my little fuzzy wrist warmer things. They are dirty because it seems like I'm always filming these videos right after a couple days before laundry day. But yeah, I have my little wrist cuffs as well to stop any drips. And yeah, let's get into it. The first thing that I'm actually going to use is my pre-cleanse. So I'm a huge fan of the Dermalogica pre-cleanse. The reason why I like this is because it is an oil cleanser and it just kind of like picks up every single thing you could possibly have on your skin. It's deep cleansing, it's an oil, it melts away, like I said, it just melts away makeup, sunscreen, everything, and it doesn't feel too greasy on my skin. So I find sometimes oil cleansers are just, or like your first cleanse, those balms are greasy, and I don't really love a greasy cleanser. Like, it's just not for me. But with this one, I find that it is an oil, so it does go on and it just kind of slides over my skin, but also picks everything up. I'm not wearing any makeup today. I just have sunscreen on. So we are just rubbing it all over, and then that's essentially it. I just need to wash it off now before going in with my second cleanse. Okay, after that, I'm going to be using the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cleanser. I have used this cleanser for years. Kiehl's is one of my favorite brands. I think I mentioned this before, but when I first started getting into skincare and using something that was not like from a drugstore, I actually had a coupon to go to Kiehl's, and I went down one Saturday or Sunday to the Kiehl's store, and they showed me all the products and set me up with this routine. It was the Ultra Facial set, the Ultra Facial Toner, Cleanser, and Moisturizer, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite things, and it really kind of like kickstarted my love of skincare and everything else. So Kiehl's products, and specifically the Ultra Facial line, is something that I think will always be in my skincare routine. Truly just because it is a product that I have loved and used for years, and it's so reliable. And I know that, like, if I were to, like, knock on wood, lose everything, I would probably go and purchase the Kiehl's Ultra Facial line first and then restock from there, just because I know that this product works and it will be like in a pinch. You go and grab it, you're good. So just using that today as my second cleanse, making sure everything's all nice and good. It's funny because today is definitely going to be like a Kiehl's Ultra Facial day. Unintentionally. I do have other moisturizers and like cleansers and toners and everything, but seems that today I am just gravitating towards Kiehl's products. So the next thing I'm going to use is actually the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Toner. The reason why I'm reaching for this is because it's actually very, it's very light. And it's gentle, it prepares the skin, it hydrates, it comforts it. It's like a really simple solution. And I've always been told that toning is actually like your second or third step. It actually still falls under the cleansing section of your routine, which is why I am using this now instead of later in my routine. But essentially you could use a cotton pad, but I usually like to just like drip it out into my hands and then just gently press or like smooth it into my skin without trying to like pull my skin while I'm doing it. But yeah, it's just nice. It's simple. It's a little bit milky. Doesn't really have a scent to it. I think it's also hypoallergenic, but essentially it's a really easy way for me just to like tone my skin, and like I said before, it's effective and it works. Okay, so these Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads are some of my favorite things. I actually purchase a box like maybe once a year. And I think there's like 65 in the box that I usually purchase, and they will honestly last me anywhere from like 6 to 9 months. You can use them daily. I do find that they are a little bit too strong for me to use daily. Both the normal and the extra strength. What I'm using today is actually one of the extra strength pads. So I really only use this maybe once a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. It's a mainstay in my routine, but it's not like every day I need to use it, if that makes sense. And that is mainly because my skin doesn't need it a lot, but it does help when I have it. So, and essentially they are so easy to use. I do wish that it does create a lot of waste because you do have the pad and then the plastic packaging and everything else. But this is another product that, like, if I were to be traveling and need something to take care of my skin, I would 100% reach for this and pack it. Like, stick 5 in your bag or something like that, or 2 or 3, and you're good to go for a couple of days if you still want to exfoliate but don't want to bring like product with you and bottles and stuff like that. So this is another product, like I said, I've been using it for years. I absolutely love it. It makes my skin glow. And then depending on kind of what's going on, if I have an event or something like that, sometimes I use it a couple days in a row. So I will do like a week of the peel pads, and I will literally see my skin has this like glow that comes to it because it's just like helping. It's like a chemical peel, just like in a pad form. So essentially I just finished using part 1, which is like the exfoliate and smooth treatment, and then you follow up with the second pad, which is the anti-aging neutralizer. Yeah, I don't really know what they do, I just know that they're great. And they're almost like a cult classic. Like, you know, we always talk about those products that are, oh, it's a cult classic, everyone loves it, it's this, it's that, and like you don't really know what that means, you just know that it's big. But these pads definitely count as a cult classic. And same with another one of the exfoliants that I use in my routine. Like I use the Biologic Pre-50 a lot. I also use Augustina Butter, and those are 2 products that also kind of have like cult followings behind them. So I'm not going to be using them today, mainly because my new skincare routine that I was talking about mainly really focuses on incorporating, like, it's very exfoliant heavy currently, especially as we go into summer. I did notice coming out of winter that my skin felt a little bit like congested or kind of like bumpy in places, especially along my jawline. So really kind of focusing on there and making sure that everything's okay and clearing it up as we head into summer. But essentially my new routine is focusing on, and kind of 4 products is kind of what I built it around. So the first one being the Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. I knew that I wanted to start using those a little bit more consistently. The second product is the retinol, which I've had in my routine for a really long time. I personally am a fan of the Shani Darden retinol reform. I have been using this for years. It's very gentle. I've tried other retinols and they would irritate my skin and I'd see like purging and everything else. And this one, I get the results of retinol, but it doesn't, whatever that formula is, it doesn't mess with my skin, which is super important because I don't want to be using a product that's breaking me out or causing a lot of skin irritation, redness, all of that. It's not really what I want in my products. So I really love the Shani Darden Retinol Reform. If I'm correct, it also has, yeah, it has a couple things in it. Obviously, this is a product that you have to use sunscreen with, so I use sunscreen in my routine when I have this retinol reform in it. You should wear sunscreen every day, basically, whether or not you're using retinol or active ingredients, to be totally honest. But there's an increased risk of burning with the retinol reform because it is, it's retinol. So yeah, I have the retinol reform, which I've been using a lot recently. I also wanted to include the Biologic Research P50 in my routine. So this stuff is one of my favorite products ever. Like I said, products with a cult following is Biologic Research P50. This product is, I was hearing about it for years. Like bloggers were talking about it, celebrities would talk about it, it's in magazines, like people love it. It is actually hard to get your hands on just because you can't like walk into a Sephora or an Ulta or Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada and just like pick it up. You do need to find somewhere that is a retailer for it, and in Canada a lot of the time that is like spas and salons. But this product is amazing. The first time I did it, I actually had to get a consult before I was allowed to purchase it. But essentially it is like an exfoliating toner. And what it does is you put it on. This is actually what started my toner in the hands habit, is you don't put it on a cotton pad, you put it in your hands, you pat it into the skin, you leave it for a little bit, and then your skin, you kind of continue on with your routine. It has tons of active ingredients in it, so you can't use this and then follow it up with like a vitamin C immediately. You can't use lactic acid, AHAs, BHAs, all of the retinol the same day that you use this. It very much is you put this on and you're done type of product. But I love it. So that being said, if you're noticing a theme here, these are products that I can't do like a 10-step routine around. I do need to use the product and then move on to some and just put a moisturizer on and it's done. And with that in mind, that's kind of what birthed the change in my routine. And then the fourth product that I wanted to start incorporating and using consistently again was actually Augustina Butter, the cream. So this jar is like, it's my baby. It's so expensive for this cream, and I've jokingly told people that I actually hate that I love butter so much because it is so expensive. I think this little jar, it's only like 50 milliliters. I want to say it was like $100 and something for it. They do have like the really big one, which I probably should also just buy, but I buy this twice a year during the Sephora sale because I get 20% off with Rouge, and I am very strategic about my use of this cream. Essentially, it is, it's a rich cream kind of. You put it on, it does have a little bit of like exfoliating properties to it. It does have a lot of hydration properties. It's moisturizing, and Augustina Butter, actually, the founder, actually used to work with like burn victims, and the cream is something that he was giving to people who had like 2nd or 3rd degree burns and scarring, and they would put it on and it would help their skin heal. So it does have a lot of healing properties to it. I find that if my skin is really irritated, if my skin is kind of like broken or anything like that, butter really helps with that and helps kind of like cool it down and calm it and just kind of like restore it back to what it was before and being normal. Like I said, that's not something that happens very often. I did have a burn from a facial that I got a few years ago, and I used butter on top of it, and it like completely helped clear up and helped minimize scarring and everything else, which is kind of the main reason why I love it. I used to have a lot of acne scars and stuff like that, and I found that butter helped kind of clear it up a lot faster than other products did. And obviously, like, I do get facials, I get we do microdermabrasion and extractions and all that fun stuff in there as well. But I do think that butter, when it's in my routine, I do notice a little bit of a change in my skin, and also it's a little bit more resilient than it already is. So I wanted to reincorporate butter into my routine going into the summer and into my like streamlined routine instead of all these products. So that is kind of what spurred it all on for me. After that, so I can feel that the peel pad has kind of like fully dried on my skin, I am going to go in with some niacinamide, just to help with like pore size, discoloration, stuff like that. And then also just kind of like helping like reduce any like blotchiness and help with the clearer skin tone. I personally am loving the Sunday Riley B3 niacinamide right now. It's kind of like, it works. I do find that it was actually recommended to me that I start using niacinamide after I use active ingredients to help kind of soothe my skin after that, and also help with like a little bit with like moisture and hydration and kind of locking everything in. So I don't fully know the science behind it, but I have been using it and I have been loving it. So yeah, just that goes on. And then the final step in my newish routine is, depending on how my skin is feeling, I alternate between using just kind of like my regular moisturizers, which is either the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream or the Pharmacy, I'm completely blanking on the name of it, but the Pharmacy moisturizer, or this, and it's the Ultra Facial Advanced Repair Barrier Cream. So I did not realize how much I would love this product. When I first picked it up, I was in Sephora one day and just kind of browsing through the aisles, and I saw like, oh, there's a barrier cream, whatever, I'll pick that up. Because I was hearing a lot about repairing your skin barrier, protecting your skin barrier. So I picked it up. It was the dead of winter, partly because I also discontinued one of my favorite products that I used in winter. And I figured, it can't hurt. It relieves dry skin, restores the skin's moisture barrier. Like, cool, sign me up, even though I don't have dry skin. This product has been a game changer for me when it comes to using kind of active ingredients. I started using retinol around the same time that I started using this, and I can honestly say that it completely changed my skincare routine. Like, this product is, it comes out very thick. It is kind of like a balm. I don't know if you guys could really see it, but it comes out like a thick balm there. And then as you warm it up in your hands, it kind of goes back into like a cream or a more spreadable texture to it. And I love it because it actually is kind of like seals everything in. Like, I could feel it a little bit on my face without it being heavy, but I know that like when I put this on, everything is locked in. And most importantly, I wake up and my skin is like glowy, if that makes sense. Like, it just kind of, it doesn't dry out my skin no matter what I threw at it. I especially really liked it when I was using retinol, or when I first started introducing retinol into my routine, because my skin did go through that regular like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, there's a new product on and it's retinol and what's going on here? And I found that it really helped kind of like ease all of that and soothe it. So, which could be why I didn't have a lot of like dry spots, flakiness, stuff like that. But yeah, I use it not consistently. I use it when I feel as if my skin needs a little bit of comfort or soothing. So if I know that I've used a lot of actives, if I've worn a lot of makeup as well, my skin sometimes gets a little bit weird. So I'll reach for it. And then also, as I introduce new products into my routine that might kind of throw my skin off a little bit, we reach for this bad boy. But yeah, that essentially is my evening skincare routine. I love it currently. Honestly, it is like probably one of the best things I have. I love using all the different products. I love trying it out, and I'm really happy with this, and that I'm getting to use some of my favorite products again, because I was holding off because it wasn't fitting in. So that essentially is all. Let me know if there's any like cult favorite products that you absolutely love, or what you're currently using, or if you've tried any of these. I could talk about P50 and Butter, the cream, and everything else for like days, quite honestly, but that essentially is what I'm using on my face right now. So yeah, I will see you guys later. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, just say hi. I love chatting with you guys and kind of seeing where your head's at and what's kind of resonating with you guys. But until next time, I hope you have a great day.